Well, I realised something was different at about 12 or 13. A boy. I liked a boy.
I grew up in a small country town, so I always knew that I was a little bit different to everybody else. You just weren't exposed to really many other gay people to know.
I think I realised myself when I was about 8 or 9 years old.
I was attracted to boys. It's as simple as that, and I realised it wasn't a phase, it wasn't part of puberty.
Girls were getting boyfriends and talking about boys, and I sort of wasn't.
I used to play with Barbies, and I used to dress up with my sister, and we'd do dance routines. Like, I always knew.
Initially, I tried to pretend that I wasn't gay.
I even remember saying to myself, well, you can't be gay because you like football.
All the people around me, I didn't want them to know.
You don't want to be different. It's kind of natural to kind of fight it.
I was actually scared, quite frightened of what that means for me, my friends, and my family.
And it was a fear. It was a fear that the people in your life that you love the most may be hurt by what you're saying.
I did go along the lines of being severely depressed. I did not let anyone know about it.
Hearing what other people were saying about gays and lesbians, it made me feel scared to come out.
Feared that I would be bashed, or I feared that I would even further alienate myself and that I'd have no future.
It was a really, really, tough time in those first few years of high school.
The kids at school had basically drummed into me that this was a terrible, perverse, awful thing and I should be ashamed of it, so I was.
To protect ourselves, we did have to change and just reduce the appearance of being gay, otherwise you were one of the targets.
I wouldn't want to go back to school the next day, and I had one teacher that used to egg it on.
Made me feel like shit. Made me feel awful. Like, actually, when I realised I was gay, I actually was contemplating suicide. It was the only way I could see for the pain tests for it to stop.
That was, for me, the worst discrimination I ever had, because when I got to university and work, people were a lot more accepting. I think the worst part of it was high school.
There was just no way I was going to let them win. I was not going to stand for it, because something inside me said no, and that you're stronger than this and that you will pull through.
I saw literally another world where it was okay. It was okay to be gay. It was okay to go ahead and hug people and kiss people in public.
I started hanging around with more gay people, going to nightclubs, meeting other people and realising that, it is a big world out there and there are a lot of other people just like me.
I felt liberated. I felt like a big weight had been lifted off my shoulders, that I was actually finally free to find myself and be who I am.
Being gay was quite exciting as an 18-year-old. I found it really exciting. This is where I belong, this is what I wanted to find out everything about it.
After many years of hurt and anger, I finally learned how to deal with it, and I thought, there's nothing wrong with me. It's your issue, you need to deal with it.
I think you have to give yourself permission to be the person that you want to be.
I loved the way that I was when I was a kid. I was very outgoing and I wanted that back.
Through the troubling times, it was persistence. It was keeping in the back of your head that it will eventually be better.
I actually went and got some counselling. I went to a therapist, and best thing I ever did. Got to the point where I realised that it was a choice between pretending to be something and being who I really was, and I finally took the choice to be who I really was.
I don't try to hide who I am anymore, and that doesn't even occur to me. The thing that changed that really was time, and your friends and your family.
It's all about saying that you can. I think for me personally, if I let other people influence my life the way they could, I wouldn't have anything that I have now.
And there are so many other people out there that are just like you, that will embrace you for who you are.
Not going to be like this forever. There's going to be good days, there might be some bad days, but you need to hang on. You need to get through this.
Go out there, get some help, speak to somebody. Don't be afraid to speak to somebody.
It may not seem that way right now, but it does, and it always gets better.
In my experience, when I came out, my parents were upset because they cared. They do love me. I didn't see that back then.
The isolation, the fear, the anxiety, it will go away.
Realising that, hold on, I'm not alone. It's just trying to find where you fit in.
You need to have patience. You need the time to grow, for people to understand, to accept.
The more you live your life, the more you'll see that life is there for you
no matter what.
I have had two friends that have taken their own lives, and they ended it way too early, and they missed out on a lot.
I am just so grateful that I didn't give up on life, because a whole lot of people who didn't even know me told me I couldn't do these things.
Those dreams that I had when I was young, I lived them. I got to have them.
And I guess it puts it into perspective. You don't have to be friends with everyone, but you find people who are like you and where you have commonalities and interest points, and you know, it gets better.
Now I just feel grateful that I've come out alive, that I've survived, and you know, that I'm here to talk about it now.
And there's still so much more to come, and this is what's so good about life.
It's going to be so much better than you have any idea, and I just need to encourage you to do that, to hang around and experience it all.